Present. Arms.
Say, can you see how the dawn's early light was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sailors and star-spangled banner, yet wave, o'er the land of the free.
At this time, we're going to prepare to lay the wreath at the monument. Can we have the ladies and gentlemen who's going to present the wreath to the monument, please come forward and take the wreath. What's your name? Can I have three guys from the fire department? Chief Pappas, Chief Michael, and Donnie DePero, one of the trustees. Lay this one. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, you can proceed to the monument, please.
Don't forget, you don't trip over that purse of yours.
And before we, after they put the wreaths up there, before we play taps, I'd like to have our lay chaplain, post chaplain, Dan DeLuca, to read the names of deceased members who passed away this past year. Dan, please.
Fred Bianco, Jack Burns, Patrick Donahue, Charles Gilbon, Harold Crumison, James Lippert, Hugh Lockhart, George Smith Jr., Nolan Womble. And for all our departed members, may their souls rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. At this time, we'll play taps by Mr. Hahn and the high school band. Present arms. Thank you. You can return to the podium, please, or the public officials, and return to the podium. going to have a number by Sid Murphy and Joe Brady, please. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to have the mayor of the city of Peekskill, Frank Catalina, to say a few remarks and introduce his council person.
First, good morning and welcome everyone to the City of Peekskill Monument Park. And it's so good to see so many people here today. I'd like to introduce Vincent Bessie, councilman, and my great deputy mayor, Joe Torres. And unfortunately, I don't see any other council members here. But I thank them for coming. As you all know, this day began as Armistice Day back at the end of World War I. It evolved into Veterans Day to honor those who have served and now serve in uniform, as well as those who have died in service. To paraphrase Thomas Paine, those who expect to reap the blessings of freedom must undergo the fatigue of supporting it. Many of you here today have borne that burden and experienced the fatigue of war in order to bring about peace. To you, I say thank you for your service. Veterans Day serves a very important purpose. It's a day we recognize not just those who have served and given their lives, but all those that have wear the uniform of service. This day, above all, is an opportunity to celebrate the choice one makes to serve their country. For some, it meant in a worldwide conflict in World War II, or a lifetime of peacekeeping missions, or the 10th standoff in Cold War. For others, found themselves in the jungles of Vietnam, Korea, Panama, or other conflicts which we have asked our military to serve. Of course, for many, service means multiple tours. Today, for many, service means multiple tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, and active duty or as reservists and guard members who sacrifice twice when they give up their civilian jobs in order to serve our country. But only 1% of our population serves in the military, and as we consider the impact of those individuals that have had the impact upon the world in defending freedom and protecting democracy, I'm reminded of the words of Winston Churchill, "Never in the field of human conflict is so much owed by so few." So today, to honor that, I would ask all of you to take time to honor our service members, past and present, in one of several ways. First, try to volunteer to help a veteran or service member, regardless of whether you yourself are a veteran. We have many wounded veterans in our world and our community that need your compassion and support, and there are many ways to help them. Given that we are a nation at war today, there are many families and communities all over this city, county, and state who could use a helping hand. For many of those on deployment, knowing their families are receiving support while they are serving in the armed forces can bring reassurance and peace of mind. And there are many ways that you can show that support, and I would urge you to contact the American Legion as a primary outlet to find a way to serve. I would ask you to make an effort to promote military service for our youth. In a time of war, volunteers for service are hard to find, but I think promoting military service goes beyond that, and we need to do a better job of letting our youth know that the military is a viable and valuable career option with unlimited opportunities. If you are a veteran, please share your story with others. Let everyone know that what you've done so they can see the many faces of the military service and appreciate the personal service of their neighbors. If you are not a veteran, find someone in your life that is a vet and ask them about their service, or simply say thank you for your service. Lastly, I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I'm proposing today to redo the dreary rotunda of City Hall with new lighting and to form a committee to rename it Veterans Rotunda and to have renovations made to that rotunda to reflect the tremendous sacrifices that have been made for this city by our veterans. When I go in the town of Cortland, the beautiful town hall has beautiful memorials to its veterans, and our rotunda could use reconditioning and a brightening up, and what better way to do it than to honor our veterans. So I would call upon members of the Common Council to appropriate whatever funds, it can't be much, that are needed in order to accomplish this goal. And I will call upon the American Legion to lend their support and advice on how best to redo the rotunda at City Hall. In conclusion, we have many ways and examples of courage, service, sacrifice to reflect upon today. Let's use this opportunity now and every day to celebrate the service to our nation by our veterans. As Thomas Jefferson said, the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. Today, we give thanks to live in a country where citizens from every generation are willing to and courageously raise their hands and to stand watch for our benefit. For those veterans here today, I personally want to thank you, and on behalf of the City of Peekskill, thank you for your service and your sacrifice. I thank your families for their sacrifices. I share the pride you feel in being able to count yourselves among the 1%, the greatest military in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to introduce Assembly Woman, Assembly Woman Sandy Gill.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here again. This year marks the 50th anniversary of America's involvement in Vietnam War. For those who answered the call to service, we should be reminded how you, as young Americans, some fresh out of school, I remember those days, distinguished yourselves by your bravery and duty to our country. And my heart swells whenever I speak to Vietnam veterans and all veterans, especially on a day like this, that is integral to who we are as a nation. The fact that we pay homage to ordinary people who perform extraordinary deeds of heroism and valor, is one of the things that have always made America so great. As we stand here 3 days after one of the biggest and most contentious presidential elections in history, one that revealed a deep divide and splayed open the wounds of a nation, I ask that we all help, as protectors of America's citizens, to bring everyone back together so we can be a better, fairer, and inclusive country and community. Let us remember how we all live in the world's greatest democracy. While one person may win a race, there really are no losers, as none of us can afford to be. If we wish for failure for one, we all fail. So we must lift each other up, prop one another, and will ourselves to succeed. For my part, I promise to continue to work on behalf of veterans, to promote and fight for issues and legislation in the New York State Capitol like the 3-year service credit buyback bill that was signed into law earlier this year. Boy, did that take a long time. The benefit of all you hardworking men and women who've given so much. And let us use this opportunity now and on Veterans Days in the years to come to celebrate service to our nation, to demonstrate appreciation for our military, and to inspire future generations to dedicate themselves in the name of the many that have come before us. This is a very special day. Thank you very much. God bless America.
Thank you. This time I'd like to have our county legislator, John Testa, say a few words.
Good morning and thank you. I want to thank the American Legion and the City of Peekskill for always holding this ceremony and inviting me to be a part of it. It's always an honor to be here. And today, being Veterans Day, is distinct from Memorial Day, obviously, because today we get to and should thank every veteran that has served and thank their families for the sacrifices they made. So for me, personally, thank you to our veterans and families for your service to our country. But the question then becomes, how do we thank our veterans? How do we make sure that they know we appreciate what they have done, the sacrifices they have made? And that is to make sure when they come home that we take care of them and give them the services and the health care and everything they need to re-enter the communities that they came from, especially ours here at Peekskill, Portland area. And I've been dedicated my whole public life and adult life to that, whether it was to open up the legal services for free services for veterans office here in Peekskill, but the County of Westchester has a Veterans Services Agency that has been bolstered over the last few years. We've discovered there are approximately 56,000 veterans in Westchester County, but only about 36,000 have registered. And the agency is there to help veterans learn about the services that are available to them, the tax breaks, the health care, and other things that are offered for free for veterans. So if you are a veteran or know a veteran who has not registered with the Westchester County Veterans Agency, please do so we can help you and be there for you whenever you need us. And always you can call on me whenever I can be there to help you. You know I will be there. So thank you very much again. God bless all our veterans, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to introduce the mayor, Buchanan, Patricia Nickelbacker.
Thank you, Mr. Bovee. Wow, what a great crowd. This is great. The City of Peekskill knows how to honor their veterans. First of all, I'd like to wish the Marines, the United States Marines, a happy 241st birthday. Can I get a hoorah? No hoorahs. Okay, no. I see we do have some Marines here, so thank you for your service. Veterans Day, a day we honor all those who have served our great nation and still do. We thank them for their loyal and dedicated service, for protecting our freedoms and our way of life, for answering the call of duty and their sacrifices. And I'd like to read a quote from President Harry Truman. Our debt to the heroic men and valiant women in the service of our country can never be repaid. They have earned our undying gratitude. America will never forget their sacrifices. And I think that sums it up beautifully, how this country feels about our veterans and all those who serve our country. And as Elmer Davis said, this nation will remain the land of the free only so long as it is the home of the brave. So thank you for your service. God bless all our veterans and all that are serving currently around the world. And God bless the great United States of America.
At this time, I'd like to ask Chief Johansson to introduce the background of our guest speaker for today. Chief, please.
Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce today's guest speaker, someone who I'm very proud of, who serves the City of Peekskill so faithfully and who also served the United States of America, Police Officer Jonathan Santich. He enlisted in the United States Air Force in February of 2007. He worked as an aircraft mechanic and an avionics specialist on C-5 Galaxy, the C-17 Globemaster, and the C-17 Globemaster aircraft in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. He continues to serve as a staff sergeant in the New York Air National Guard 105th Airlift Wing at Stewart Air Force Base in Newburgh. Please welcome Police Officer Jonathan Santich.
Thank you, Chief, for that introduction. Good morning, Mayor Catalina, City of Peekskill residents, clergy, Mr. Donahue, the American League, distinguished guests, and most importantly, my fellow patriots and veterans. First of all, what a beautiful day we have today. It's a little windy, but I'll take this over some of the earlier temperatures we were getting this month. I stand here humbly, as it is truly an honor to speak a few words before you all today on this Veterans Day 2016. When the opportunity presented itself to participate in today's ceremony, the immediate thought that came to mind was that this is probably the smallest token of appreciation, respect, and gratitude that I could show and express to those that have come before me in answering our nation's call to service. These veterans have given so much for our freedoms and liberties we exercise on a daily basis, most of the time without thought. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the fighting of World War I ended. Due to the conclusion of the war to end all wars, November 11th became a universally recognized day of celebration. The day was originally declared Armistice Day 8 years after the end of World War I and honored only veterans of that war. In 1954, after World War II and the Korean War, it was renamed Veterans Day to honor all veterans who served America's military and defended democracy. So today we honor all of our veterans who unselfishly placed their lives on the line for our freedom and sacrificed so much for our great nation. At this time, I would like to ask all military members, past and present, most of you are already standing, but if you are seated, I would ask you to all please stand so that we could properly recognize you for answering your nation's call to duty, your call to service, and sacrificing so much for us each and every day. So please stand if you are seated. Thank you. Thank you. You may be seated. These men and women were ordinary people until they heard the call of duty and answered it. What would possess an individual to don one of our military branch's uniform? Why would someone raise their right hand and swear to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic? Why would people make a decision that they know could possibly cause them to leave their families and friends behind? Miss birthdays, graduations, anniversaries, children's basketball, football, and soccer games. And so many more things that someone who has never served in our nation's military can't even begin to imagine. These things not done for recognition or fame or even the honor we bestow upon them today. They fought to protect our country. They fought to protect and maintain our way of life. Not because they personally believed in who the president was or our foreign policies or objectives. These things were done because these individuals possess a deep-rooted desire to be of service to our nation. A deep-rooted desire for love of country and a fellow man. Long before signing bonuses, tuition reimbursement, VA loan benefits, and the current incentives that are in a recruiter's tool bag, men and women have been faithfully answering our nation's call to service, and we remain thankful. Senator John McCain wrote in a family memoir that nothing in life is more liberating than to fight for a cause larger than yourself. Something that encompasses you but is not defined by your existence alone. I can remember being in my senior year at Aviation High School 10 years ago in Long Island City, Queens, and trying to figure out what was next. I wasn't the greatest scholar. I probably could have went to class more often. I didn't have a stack of academic or athletic scholarships on the table, and my mother wasn't rich. My option on what was next consisted of joining the workforce, joining the military, or just hanging out on the steps in front of the building with my friends. Having a passion for aircraft and aviation, I quickly realized that joining the Air Force would allow me to not only better my life and pursue my passion, but at the same time, fight for a cause much larger than myself. And that was my motivating factor. Our country is always in need of individuals willing to faithfully serve, and I felt like I was one of those individuals. At the time, I was 17 years old, so I needed my mother's signature on the application. As most parents probably would be, she was extremely apprehensive due to the events that were currently taking place in the world. But once she realized that this wasn't just a phase or an idea that popped into my head, she quickly gave me her blessing and co-signed on my path. I remain thankful to her for that. The making of a military member, the backbone of a veteran, does not come down to boot camp or the special training received. It comes down to family. To the families of military members in attendance here today, I wanted to say thank you for supporting, encouraging, and understanding us. Today is as much about you as it is about my fellow veterans. Thank you for taking care of business at home so that we were able to focus on the tasks and assignments at hand with as clear of a mind as possible. We know you have lived through difficult times and have often taken the heavy load to keep the home fires burning. Thank you for what you've done. Thank you for the letters and the phone calls. Words can't describe the feeling of being away from home and receiving a letter from a loved one. Emails are nice when available, but a tangible piece of paper knowing that a loved one once held it makes distance gaps smaller. Military service brings many different walks of life together. So many experiences, both happy and sad, fill memory vaults inside our minds. From simple acts of appreciation shown from the general public, like being in line at a grocery store in military uniform and a complete stranger makes sure everything that you have is taken care of without you knowing. From humanitarian relief missions to the liberation of persecuted individuals in other countries, or visions of friends no longer here with us today. Even standing in formation as the C-17's rear cargo door is open and the cargo area is filled with flag-draped coffins. And as you hold your salute and your tears towards them, you realize that as divided as this nation may seem to be at times, based on what we see on the news and the media, the mass majority of our country is unified, and this is still the greatest nation in the world. All over our country today, there are similar ceremonies taking place just like this. People are taking time out of their day to say thank you to our nation's veterans. President John F. Kennedy, paying respect to our nation's veterans at Arlington's National Cemetery in 1961, stated the following: